evening and welcome to All Things Manchester. My name is Tom Topping and I'll be your host for the next 30 minutes. In the booth, I've got Dave, Rich, and Rich doing the miracle work that makes us the great show that we are. Tonight, I'm honored to have someone that I've spoken to countless times. He's an up-and-coming musician right here from Manchester. His name is Goonie Jay. We've never actually met before tonight, but we definitely have bonded over the phone. Goonie, if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about yourself and how you got started, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, thank you for having me,
It's a
Tom.
pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to do anything, town-oriented. I'm a Manchester native. So I was class of 2014 MHS, and since back then and before, I've just always been into making my own music, writing my own music, and producing and, putting it out. So luckily, I've built a great friend group and a great peer group. Who's helped me progress and push my stuff more professionally and expand. And we've reached millions of people, millions of streams, and I've turned it from a passion job to an actual career. So I'm very grateful for that. And that's basically a synopsis of who I am. I try to inspire others and teach them to be, the best people that they can be, because when you stop working for money, money tends to come. But when you work for money, a lot of times that you'll sit back and catch yourself doing things that you shouldn't be doing. So I'm grateful that, my dreams have put me in a position to do what I love.
You touched on some of the stuff that you and I talk about on the phone, and when we start talking on the phone, we can get going pretty good. You are dedicated to Manchester. You're a family man, too. You've got...
Absolutely, yep.
And I think that's wonderful. So you sort of break the mold, I think. I've listened to your music. I like your music.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There's obviously an age difference, and I had to come to grips with the fact that artists today use different techniques than we did,
Yeah.
and I'm specifically speaking of some of the language.
Right.
But once I got comfortable, I told you earlier, I'm a big Eminem fan. I actually hear some of his stuff stylistically in yours. Do you have a style? Do you have... are you a protege of anybody, or are you your own?
No, I try to be my own individual, my own sound. As far as Eminem goes, I always stayed away from him when I was younger, not for any reason that I didn't like his music. I think he's extremely talented, but a lot of times it puts you in a box subgenre-wise, so I didn't want to duplicate or copy things that have already been done by somebody similar to myself. I figured it made more sense to stay true to myself and tell my own stories the way they make sense. So.
Well, you're a storyteller too. I've noticed that about your music. You want to get into that?
Yeah.
Are they real life stories, or?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, I do have two kids. I have a 6-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. So I'm very blessed to have both of them in my life pretty much all the time, and that has inspired me to always take the music thing as not so much just a job, but a way to inspire them. I look at it like they can either look at me like I'm a fool one day, or they can be proud of what I'm doing, and I just want to make them proud. So. To circle back, I try to inspire others, like neighborhood-wise, Manchester-wise. I haven't put it, I won't say at the forefront, but I've always tried to incorporate, and anytime I can, bring that attention to the town that we have and everything. So,
you're also a self-made man, not just
Correct.
You're an independent. What does it mean to be an independent? Let's start there.
So with music, it's not just clicking a button and uploading your music. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle and a lot of pieces to the pie. So whether it's, getting booked for shows, uploading your music properly, connecting all your metadata to be able to even collect and share your music with people, I do all of that entirely myself. So I have zero management team, zero anything. I hire professionals from the outside, so I don't record my own visuals. I don't record my own music. Obviously, I write and, and perform it, but I don't engineer myself, because I'm big on, I'm the professional musician, and you need professional other parts to your business to be able to do it the right way. It can never be a one-man show to get it done right. So.
Sure. When did you know that you were going to make it? I mean, I could say, you smiled. You know when it was. There must come a point when because you're going to fail a time or two. Something's not going to go right.
I still fail now quite often.
Yeah, me too.
But I'd say, to answer that question, there was never a moment where I was like, this is going to work 100%. I mean, I always believed in it. We all chase our dreams. We all have passions. But the reality is life hits us when we least expect it quite often. So there was a lot of times where I'd look in the mirror and be like, should I be making music, or am I doing a disservice to my family? Am I doing a disservice to my ability to go get a regular job or do something like that too? And oftentimes we just have to reflect and circle back to what we talked about before, like, what are you really doing this for? So that's been something that's helped me out a lot.
While we're on, before I get too far into this, why don't you give us your web address?
Sure. You can find me on all streaming platforms at The Real Goonie Jay, www.therealgooniejay.com for all merchandise and shows. We are doing a show next week right here in town, Ryan's Sports Bar and Grill. Goonie Jay and Al Bial. Al Bial is going to be in town headlining. You can get your tickets online right now for $35. We'd love to see you there.
You've had some success. We mentioned that. Name drop. Who's some of the acts that you've opened for?
Honestly, quite a few. Sometimes I forget. A Boogie, Fetty Wap. I brought Joel Santana to town. I brought Rowdy Rebel to town. Millie's, Jadakiss, Polo G. Honestly, pretty much anybody like in the rap field, I've in some way or form encountered in one way or another. Now, whether or not we did business together or just met is a different story. But yeah, quite a few big names.
Well, I think I told you I took a class earlier this year with a group of. I thought it was going to be for people my age. Turned out to be people younger than you, and it was a class full of them.
Yeah.
And you know, I was trying to tell them about this great TV show I got, and it is a great TV show, but not to the 20-year-olds. And then I mentioned your name.
Okay.
And they knew who you were, and that was when they realized I spoke their language. So thanks for your help there.
Yeah, of course.
What's the most exciting thing that you've done so far?
I wouldn't say like it was a task or an achievement necessarily. It's more so the fact that I have a really large international fan base more than domestic.
Really?
So like I've charted before in Hungary, Romania, France, a lot of different countries, whereas in the United States, I'm still more so building my brand. That being said, like I get a lot of people who reach out and they'll say, hey, this song or this message that you sent really changed, my life and was able to impact me. So that means more to me than like the streams or this and that. Like sure, the first time I had 1 million streams, that was awesome. That was like, oh my God, like I can't believe this is happening. But it means more as an artist to know that the art that I'm making is resonating with people the way it's supposed to.
And it is art. I mean, that's when I listened to your music, I understood that you were telling a story, that you were taking people on a musical journey. That's what you did.
Right.
And I went on it. What's your favorite part of the work? Is it performing in front of a crowd? Or
yeah,
is it...
performing is like, it's impossible to duplicate the feeling. Like I'm done a lot of things in life that I'm very grateful for, but there's not a single other thing that can give you the same like dopamine release that being on stage in front of all those people and hearing them cheer and hearing them go along with what you're doing and enjoy is like, it's impossible to duplicate. Yeah.
I believe that. I told you about the hair on the back of my neck
Yeah.
standing up and everything. When we were talking about Ghost earlier, when you were writing that, when you were making the music, did you know?
Well, the funny story about that one is like, for the longest time, I was always like, I don't care about having a hit. I just want to make music that's me and, kind of be focused on that. And Ghost was kind of a joke. It was like one of those songs where I went into the studio with my friends and I was just like, let's do a song that is more kind of pop, not pop oriented, but will fit for radio, like that kind of sound. And lo and behold, it happened, So it's crazy. Out of 150 other records, that was the one that stuck like glue,
Yeah. I've never done that. I was on the other side. I was more of a promoter.
Yeah.
What's some of your current work? We've talked about Ghost a little bit.
So The Giving Tree I put out last year. That was my last album. That was based on the Shel Silverstein book, so it's more of like a conceptual piece where you follow the journey of me. For anybody that doesn't know the plot of that book, basically what it's about is there's a boy in a tree. The tree gives and gives and gives to the boy all of its resources until it's literally nothing and pretty much down to the roots. And the boy notices as he gets older that he's been taking advantage of the tree rather than, using it the way that he should be and helping the tree in return. So it's a tale of like how I've been both sides of the story. I've been the boy, I've been the tree. And yeah, it's more of an autobiographical piece. My most recent mixtape, so the difference would be like a album is more of like a formal release, and a mixtape is more of kind of just throw it out there and see what people think. The last mixtape I did was called Calculated Risk, pardon me, and that came out on 5/25. That was when I did the free car giveaway over at Ryan's as well. So as a thank you to my fans, basically I gave away a car. It was a free entry event. All you had to do was show up, download the project, which is also free, and then yeah, you were entered to win a car. So somebody went home real happy with 4 new wheels.
There's nothing wrong with that,
Yep.
you know, and that's how, I think that's another way to give back.
Yep.
Let's see, what do you have a message? Do you have a message that you feel like you want to give people?
I mean, I have a lot of them, but I'd say like the number one is just trust yourself and always bet on yourself, because obviously we all have to work. We all have to do things that conform with society, for lack of a better term. Like I worked a day job for basically from the time I was 15 until I was about 25 when this all started making sense. So like you can't wake up one day and think you're just going to skip all the steps. But if you don't skip steps and you chase what you believe in, there's no way that anybody can ever tell you no.
You're, I think I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but you're basically not just a musician, you're multidimensionally. You're a smart young man, right?
Thank you, I
I've
appreciate
mentioned
that.
that before. And that's one of the things we talk about. There's a business side to all this. And we've talked about that too. That's not really what motivates a true artist. Otherwise, you're not an artist.
Right.
You're a capitalist.
Right.
But what are some of your business ventures that you've got going?
So honestly, any show that you see me performing at is either put together by me for the most part, or something like that. Like I just did one out in Philadelphia a couple weeks ago. That was basically like me headlining and then bringing in a bunch of local talent from the town. So not from Manchester, but from out their way. So yeah, I try to move around and explore as much as I can and bring the art wherever, or bring the art wherever we can bring it, and check out new art along the way. So.
And you said you've got a show coming up, I think you said this coming Saturday?
Yeah, it's a week from Saturday, yeah. So by the time this airs, it's probably going to be this coming week. So.
Well, this will air this Thursday,
Okay.
So the 16th.
Okay, yeah, so the 25th of July over at Ryan's Sports Bar. Anybody that wants to come by, we'd love to have you stop by. I'll be opening up. Albie Al's going to be headlining, and it should be a really good night.
And how do you get your tickets?
You can get your tickets online at ryansportsbargrill.com or by reaching out to me via Instagram at @TheRealGoonie Jay.
Now something that I do know about is these tours. A lot of times they're in support of a new disc or a new album,
Yep.
a new work. But a lot of times you're just going on the road because it's been a period of time that you haven't been.
Yep.
Do you get your own sponsors for that, or do you underwrite your own trips?
It's circumstantial. So obviously there's people who reach out to book me, and then vice versa too. So like sometimes it'll be a venue that sees value in what I'm doing, and it's more so the monetary or the commercial values in the front end. But my preference is I like to put the events together from the ground up. So I like to basically kind of scope a city out first wherever I see that I'm doing good digitally. And then at that point, I'll just start cold calling all the different venues until I find one that makes the most sense. Obviously, I love to share and do things like that, but at any point where it's like, hey, we can keep real estate and do the same thing, I like to keep the real estate when we can.
Now, we had a conversation on the phone one time, and I thought, maybe I misunderstood you, but I thought you mentioned Philly.
Yep.
That's not a tier 2 city, that's a major city.
Right.
I was under the impression that you came to more Hartford-sized communities. Is that was I misunderstood?
No. I mean, I don't really do a lot of Connecticut events and things like that, other than really at Ryan's recently. For the most part, I try to like move around and go places I haven't been. Not because I don't like Connecticut, just like market-wise, it's a very tough niche to hit. Excuse me, if you think like commercially, right? Like one borough of New York City. If I have 1% of that borough that's hip hop fans, it's still going to be larger than if I had the entire market in the whole state here.
Yeah.
So I'm always grateful, and I try to, like I said, incorporate Connecticut wherever I can. But luckily, I'm blessed enough to be able to put food on the table for the kids. So I got to make sure I follow the path that presents that,
Are you getting any radio play in Hartford?
No, never. No, I never had any Connecticut radio play ever. I mean, I've had it in quite a few other states, but I do a lot of collaborative stuff with Hot 93.7 and some of the DJs over there. So, but
Tell me why you're mad.
Yeah, there you go. You said it, not me, right?
Yeah. What's your favorite part of touring? Again, is it entertaining,
It's,
the actual
yeah,
music?
it's the entertaining part. I mean, like, the business stuff isn't really the most fun, of course. It's like any other job.
Right,
You know,
right.
you get the little headaches here and there, but really exploring is like what's cool, and like meeting new people. So like performing is a separate thing, but like after the fact or before, like kind of just meeting people you never thought you'd meet in your journey, and then obviously it just expands and expands. So that's like the best part, I'd say.
And it's not as wild as people think. I mean, well,
Circumstantial, yeah.
there's some bands
Yeah.
that, like, I wouldn't have wanted to manage the Who,
Right.
because
Right. Yeah.
I had
Understandable.
enough problems in my
Yeah.
life. But it's a business, and if you don't make a good impression on the facilities, even the police, you
Yeah.
know, they don't want trouble either.
No, they
If you
don't.
come in and you run a clean show, you're more likely.
To get booked again and be
And
able to keep
a
doing
lot
your
of
thing,
venue
you know?
owners own multiple venues.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about a lot of these clubs and things like that, is it's like when you move around, you start to see they might own 3 in different cities, and if you do a good job at one, it's like, why not come to the other 2, you know? So it's easier to kind of spread your wings. Once
Have you
break
ever
that ice.
approached somebody like the Meadows or
No, because I don't have a large enough Connecticut market to do something like that solo. Like the majority of my shows, like the solo shows, are usually like maybe a 250 cap. I'll probably draw like 125 to a 250, anywhere in between there if it's a Connecticut market. If I have a major headliner, sure, a little bit bigger, but circumstantially, like other states, I can do a lot more traffic. So I'm not quite at that point at home yet where I can do a venue that big.
So it does seem like that's kind of the way it is too.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've done Total Mortgage before. I've done the other one down there in Bridgeport too before. So, but opening act stuff, never as an independent act, you know.
Because if you ever do headline somewhere, well, Connecticut is like, I think there's 130 million people within an 8-hour drive of Hartford.
Right.
So I like the Hartford football stadium.
It's great. It's great.
I-
if you're Post Malone and you got
Yeah.
the fan base to do it, like go for it.
Well,
but, you know.
I have dreams too. You know, they don't
Right.
stop just because I turned.
I like to be conscious though too. I like to make sure that, you know, if I'm hiring people to work at these events, that they're making what they're supposed to make and things
Right.
like that too. Like to me, I'd rather have a successful small event where everybody takes home what they're supposed to take home than try and push something that doesn't make sense yet.
I've worked for people like that, renegotiate after the event, and boy, is that bad business practice.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because you get a reputation. You get a reputation.
Contracts are a great thing, my friend.
You started writing songs, I think, at 9 years old?
Yep.
You remember your first song?
I mean, I remember writing it. I probably still have it in a little shoebox because I have a whole folder of all that. But yeah, my parents weren't too thrilled with that, with the subject matter, because I was over there copying things I didn't even know what they were, and you know, who knows, but.
When you perform with some of these headliners,
Yep.
what do you take away from the experience of working with someone like that, Fetty Wap?
I study them like a book. So like I also go to shows and don't sit there and, you know, drink or party and stuff like
Right.
that. I'm more so somebody that goes to the show and wants to study you, because if you're doing the genre that I'm doing better than me, I might as well take some notes and try to do my job better and, you know, take the pros and push the cons. So yeah, I'm definitely on that kind of frequency.
No, I believe that,
Yeah.
because you don't get better learning from somebody that doesn't do the job right.
Right.
Let's see, what else? What part of your life has played the biggest impression in your music, your storytelling?
I would say there's not a way to put one or above the other. Like love life has been a massive role. Bad decisions have been a massive role. Good decisions have been a massive role too. So it's definitely spread, you know. But really, just like I said, sticking to myself and being me has definitely worked.
Well, when I was listening to your stuff earlier, I made notes here. You mix a little pain and family and your storytelling, and I was. I'm a big country fan.
Okay.
And it was, to me, the similar experience to country, because, you know, it was about, some of it was real tug at the heartstrings stuff.
Right.
If you had the opportunity to go back and make one change, do you think you'd do anything differently?
take singing classes.
Okay, all right, that's an honest answer.
That would be about it. Because, I mean, to circle back to country, the first music I liked, like, I used to watch CMT when country
Yeah,
music television
sure.
was a thing, and my parents don't like country, so they'd be like, what are you doing? Like, but I'd be sitting there listening to it all day, and I wanted to be like a country singer at first, but I can't hold a note for the life of me. And then I was always into poetry, and some of my life choices just pushed me into the realm where it made sense to start making, you know, hip hop and rap music. So it's been a cool journey, for sure.
Are you working on anything now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have some new music probably coming out in the next 2 months. I can't quite give a date yet because a couple of these have some bigger names attached to them. But as far as that goes, you are going to start to see Goonie Jay featuring, not just Goonie Jay anymore, because I feel like at this point the fans deserve it. A lot of the people that I've been bringing to Connecticut, they've been like, when are you going to work with these people and this and that? So you're going to start to see a lot more collaborative efforts on that end. New music videos are coming soon for sure. And obviously the shows, we're just going to keep ripping and running with those for sure.
Who are 2 or 3 of your favorite acts? Any genre.
So as far as like hip hop goes, to start there, I'd say like Lil Wayne #1, and then 50 Cent would be #2. I don't sound like either one of them necessarily, or really fit the same narrative necessarily as either one of them. But as far as influence-wise and staying true to yourself and being who you are, I feel like they've led the way in rap music as a whole. So they always inspired me the most. But I like Santana, Green Day, Linkin Park, a lot of that kind of music too, that early 2000s, you know,
Sure.
2010s. So I was born in '96, so anything from when I was 10 years old to about 20 is my favorite, and then after that I start to feel like I'm old. So
I was already home from the Marine Corps for 15 years in
Oh,
96. Santana, though, he's another one that's been a lot of pain in his music.
Yep.
One of my favorite Santana songs is Winning. Can you at least give us a theme to your next piece of work?
So a lot more, I would say, family-oriented stuff, but not in the sense of like necessarily family-friendly subject matter, to be honest with you. More so in like the sense of the kind of struggles in the journey of maintaining the job that I have and balancing a happy home at the same time, because I am a full-time dad too. So I feel like some of the old tales that I used to tell don't really make sense anymore. So it's been a balance of keeping everything relevant and still being able to stay true to myself too.
Have the girls ever seen you perform in a show?
You mean like my kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have a son and a daughter. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I thought you said two
my
girls.
daughter. My daughter actually was with me when I did the 4th of July fireworks at MCC. She got up on stage for a second and stuff. Yeah, a couple of years ago. So, but anytime I do family-friendly stuff, they're always there. I like to do the family events too. So we go 21 plus, and then we have family-friendly stuff when I do shows too.
Is there a market for family-friendly stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. I mean, like, so I have a song called No Clocking In, and basically there's no swearing, there's no nothing bad. It's just entirely about chasing your dreams, and kind of it's like a humming kind of rap song versus like some of the grittier stuff that I do, so.
I'm just going to touch on something I said earlier. If you ever do want to listen to some of his music, clear your mind first. Listen to the lyrics. Don't be stereotypical about it like I was until I actually listened to the whole lyrics for Eminem. I didn't like them.
Oh, I like him now, like the Marshall
Yeah.
Mathers LP and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm big into Eminem now. It was just like an influence thing. I didn't want to be too influenced.
No. I
younger,
mean,
yeah.
but when I first, it was just more rap, and because he swore,
Yep.
and then actually I saw him on Saturday Night Live singing "Stan" with Dido. All right,
That's a great song. Yeah.
it's wild.
Yeah.
It is so. I was like, I can't believe this is what this guy's singing about. So, and that's why I said you have a story.
Yep.
You took me on a musical journey. I listened to it in the truck on the way here, and I was like, no, it's good riding down
Thank
the
you
road
for that.
music too.
I appreciate that. Thank
Well,
you.
I can't talk to you about your music if I don't listen to it.
I hope you at least hit the play button once before we walked in.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping for. So
Well, and have you ever listened to mine? No, I'm just kidding.
send it to me. I'll check it out
Yeah.
for sure.
No, we've made no bones about the friendship that we've had,
Yep.
driven largely by the fact that we're both businessmen.
Yeah.
We do what we love, but there's a business angle to it. Now, I did want to touch. You're multifaceted. And outside of the music world, you have some endeavors too, if I'm not mistaken, that you.
So as of recently, not so much. So like, if you're referring to the business
Stuff-
stuff,
yeah.
yeah, no, not so much anymore. I basically have tapped out of that. I used to be big into like the dispensary business and stuff like that. So I had licensing out in Maine to kind of do my own thing and cultivate for quite a long time. And that was post-incarceration for me because I had gotten in trouble for that down here beforehand. So once music started taking off the way it was supposed to take off, that was kind of the leverage point for me to get in the door with a lot of these bigger artists was, hey, you know, I cultivate,
I got
check
some
me
of
out,
the
come
best
to the
stuff.
dispensary,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
talk. And then all of a sudden now we're talking about music and it breaks the ice like that. But once the music became the forefront, it was like it didn't make sense to still stick with that because frankly, like the laws are way too stringent down here and I can't go back and forth up north anymore with 2 kids. It
With
doesn't make
kids,
sense.
yeah.
So, you know.
All right, we're starting to run a little bit out of time here.
Sure.
And I want you, I promised you this would be your messaging tonight, not mine. And you've been very gracious. You let me ask all the questions
Yep.
and get everything I had. What would you like to say? How? Go ahead. Anything you want.
I would say this, just no matter who you are, believe in yourself, don't ever give up. Everybody says that, you know, corny line to just never quit. But the reality of the situation is if you don't quit, you really can achieve everything that you ever dreamed of if you work hard enough. Now, everybody will also tell you, stop what you're doing, you know, it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work, but just hear and know is not a good enough reason to ever stop. So chase your dreams, pursue everything you can pursue, and never give up. The word no doesn't need to mean no, you know? So.
And I'm just going to carry that to the next level because we actually skip a generation. I'm 2
Yeah.
generations older than you. Don't stop dreaming.
Right.
Don't.
Right.
My dreams. I got some that are still, you know, from when I was your age, and they're going away. They really are.
Yeah.
But they're being replaced
With
by
something new that you can
right.
pursue again.
Right. I
Exactly.
never would have imagined that I was Tom from Facebook in Manchester. Like.
Well, you know what's funny? A lot of people, like myself included, quit right before everything becomes what it's supposed to be. Like
Yeah.
I was ready to hang it up with music before, you know, I started getting the traction I did. So I'm very grateful that I didn't quit. So
Me too.
Don't
I
quit.
was-
Chase your new dreams and make it happen.
Yeah,
I got faith
yeah.
in you. You got faith in me. This is what we
Well,
do. You know.
we both, there was a time we both had to pick it up and start from, you know, under the desk.
Under
not-
the
not
desk,
even
yeah.
under the desk. And there's joy.
Right.
Because you wake up one morning and the coffee's fresh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you put it behind you. Goonie, this was a lot of fun. I knew it would be. It went way too fast.
Been a pleasure to see you, Tom.
Always a pleasure,
Definitely,
sir. It's
definitely.
our first time meeting. I'm so excited. Like I told you, the show will be on Cox Channel 15 this coming Thursday at 11:30 and 6:30 p.m.
Sounds
Very
great.
good, my friend. You have a great day. And
Thank
thanks
you.
for
You
coming
as
in.
well. We appreciate you.